Good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. We will get started in just a moment. Okay, so let's get started. My name is Henry Chi. I'm the Chief Product Officer of ControlSense. Joining me today is Ed Zimmer, the CEO and founder of ControlSense. Um, we're really excited to introduce ControlSense as a platform and tool and for how we can help your internal audit teams. A little bit about us first. Ed, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure, thank you. And thank you everyone for joining. My background includes working at Citigroup for over 30 years, first as a technology auditor and then as a director in their audit innovation team. But throughout my career, I have been committed to improving audit processes through the use of automation. And now artificial intelligence capabilities provides us with exciting new opportunities to enhance audit productivity, quality, and assurance. And really, that's what inspired us to develop ControlSense. Over to you, Henry.
So my name is Henry. I met Ed at Citi in the audit team. I was more on the audit function side when he was the innovations director. I've had 15 years of audit experience, both in consulting as well as in internal audit for companies. Also have a little bit of experience in building control testing methodologies and strategy for the first line as well. Just a little bit about the agenda. We'll go over some of the challenges that we all face in audit, things that Ed has seen, certainly things I've experienced, and from the overall audience, we've talked through and recognized some of the shared challenges that we've had. We'll introduce the ControlSense AI, what it is, what it can do, give you some ideas of how it might be able to help you. We'll do a live demo, in which case you'll also be able to vote on the modules that you would like to see. Talk a little bit about next steps and then address any questions from in the Q&A at the end. You'll be able to submit questions throughout this whole webinar at the bottom of your screen. We'll address those at the end, or if it's relevant, we'll try to address those while we're talking through them.
Great.
So first, just to get a sense from our audience, what's the extent of your team's AI usage today? It's no use, very limited use using kind of the general tools like Copilot or GPT, or some more extensive use. It's built into your audit workflows, or you have certain tools to do that. So I'm going to launch a poll, give it about 30 seconds, and then we'll close it. And just it helps Ed and I understand a little bit about who's joined us today and how familiar you guys are with AI and the use of AI in this.
Yeah, and it helps us focus the rest of the webinar on targeting, what you guys are actually using and how maybe we can improve on it.
Excellent. All right, we have over 60% now. Looks like 100% of our audience today, Ed, is limited use, so GPT and Copilot.
Well, that's perfect. That's kind of what we've been seeing, Henry, and I think that's great that everybody's at least starting it.
Yeah, I think it's very consistent with the rest of the sessions we've run, and I think hopefully ControlSense can bring that a little bit further into how we can better use AI specific for audit purposes.
Great. So what I'd like to do now is really talk about some of the audit challenges. First, from a resource point of view, executive management, rightly so, has very high expectations for our audit coverage, asking audit teams to do more with the same or even sometimes fewer resources. But Audit workflows contain a number of manual processes which are performed by auditors with various levels of skill and experience. And that can result in inconsistencies in audit quality. And what happens, there's a lot of multiple review cycles between the audit teams and audit management, which can be frustrating and also very time consuming as it drains some of the budgeted hours that we have to complete our audit. And regarding training, audit training is often then provided to address these quality issues. And sometimes that's at the expense of that value added training on business and technology that's really needed to meet the senior management expectations that I mentioned earlier. And from a technology point of view, audit, like everyone, is often asked to reduce expenses. And that can often result in reductions in our technology budget. So this is based upon Henry's experience, my experience, but we'd like your feedback on some of the pain points that you experience. So over to you, Henry.
So we're going to launch our second poll here. I'll launch it right now and read through the options here. So really, again, just to get a sense from the audience, which of these statements resonate the most with yourself, your audit teams, what you guys are facing, being asked to being do more with less, spending a lot of time making updates, revisions. Maybe it's because of lack of methodology or standard templates. Being able to have the capabilities, time, and budget to implement and use these cutting edge tools, or just audit deliverables take a ton of effort to create. So I'm almost certain that each one of these will resonate at least to a certain extent for everyone. But just to get a sense of, which one's the most crucial at this point for you guys.
That's great. Yeah.
All right. So Ed, I think being asked to do more with less is the winner here.
Okay.
And it is something consistent that even in our experience with kind of a bigger audit team and the like, it is a consistent theme of how do we squeeze more of the budget that we have, or the resources, the people? How do we get more efficient and effective with essential, or do more without any other increases, right?
Well, you know what happens? There's a lot of emerging issues that come up, and we have an audit plan, and then what happens is we're asked to do additional special projects to address that. So that's a good point. Okay.
All right. So we'll introduce ControlSense then.
All right. Well, thank you, Henry. And first of all, artificial intelligence capabilities, as we all know, they're quickly evolving. And as a result, the use of AI by internal audit really is no longer optional. We believe it must be and should be a critical part of your internal audit strategy. And that's, again, what inspired us to develop ControlSense. ControlSense is a personal AI assistant that is developed by auditors and is customized for internal audit. Now, back to the use of generic AI tools that you guys are using, that's fine, but ControlSense goes far beyond those generic AI tools. Our platform was built based upon audit standards. It creates consistent and very high quality audit deliverables that can be customized to meet your specific audit methodology requirements. So ControlSense meets these strategic audit needs by providing enhanced audit productivity, quality, and control testing. Manual effort is dramatically reduced through the automation of audit workflows. So instead of auditors relying on past audit work, going back to old work papers, ControlSense leverages a deep knowledge base of current business information, and that enables auditors to take action to proactively identify and address emerging risks. So we really built this on three foundational pillars that actually transforms the audit experience. First, productivity and speed. ControlSense automates each phase of the audit lifecycle. It generates high quality planning memos, risk and control matrices. It'll write audit issues and audit reports, and it does it virtually instantly. So, by eliminating hundreds of hours of manual effort, auditors are then free to focus on what truly matters: insight, judgment, and the strategic engagement with our stakeholders that they're looking for. From an audit coverage point of view, business risks are constantly changing and growing more complex. So ControlSense promotes the completeness of coverage by leveraging that deep pool of current information, recommending business processes, risks, controls, and even audit tests that pertain directly to the business that you're reviewing. And we also enhance audit assurance. Instead of relying on traditional sample-based testing, ControlSense empowers all auditors, non-technical auditors especially, to test controls across large data populations. We have our no-code interface that enables all auditors to easily import the data files that we receive from the business and then just enter natural language questions, excuse me, to test control effectiveness and also to identify outliers for targeted testing. So by combining productivity and assurance, ControlSense empowers auditors to shift from execution to insight. We advise the business, anticipate risk, and deliver strategic value. And we do this in a very cost-effective way with advanced AI workflows that audit departments of all sizes and technical capabilities can immediately achieve these strategic audit goals. So let's go back to Henry to provide some additional details on some of the ControlSense capabilities.
Yeah, thanks, Ed. So all it ControlSense was essentially built by auditors for auditors, as Ed had mentioned. We have modules built throughout the different audit life cycles, from planning, fieldwork, and reporting. And the idea here is in a couple of minutes here, we'll be able to demonstrate some of those modules for you, just to give a sense of how it may be able to help you and enhance upon your experience using AI. So rather than just the GPT Copilot, having something that's pre-built for audit leveraging AI, and how it may help you tremendously in both effectiveness and efficiency. Under planning, we have a couple of modules here. The guided planning memo helps document your audit scope, the processes you're looking at, some of the stakeholders, the like. It's a deliverable that's key during the planning as you're deciding what to audit, how to audit it, and the like. A guided RCM creation. Throughout the couple sessions we have had, this has been the favorite. Essentially, ControlSense will prompt you for a couple of inputs. It will then create a draft RCM that suggests the process risks, controls, and testing objectives for you at that point. Very useful and pretty snappy. We'll see if you guys vote on that. If we do, then we'll certainly demonstrate that. Test script creation. If you have an RCM already, you're able to take those risk control matrices, put them in, generate specific test scripts for you to then use during a field work. In the fieldwork phase, we have document chat. Document chat is something maybe similar to what you have with GPT and the like, where you can upload a document and ask it a number of questions. This is something certainly that's we've built in because it is a very useful tool to help auditors digest some information, maybe point them to insight into where they may need to dive a little bit deeper, depending on the policy or regulation procedure that you're looking through. Data analytics testing, another really, really useful feature. Historically, when you want to do large data set testing, you need a little bit of programming and some a lot of technical knowledge as well as training on how to use those tools. Here you can upload a data set, ask ControlSense a certain amount of questions, and it'll come out with responses based off of those questions. This is also one that is an option that we can do a live demo on. Issue draft creation. Basically, you have a number of exceptions. You need to generate an issue. You can prompt ControlSense with some details, right? As much as you can. And then it will come out with the impact statements, the consequences, the causes, potential action plans that would be sufficient to address the issue that you've discovered. Going into reporting, action plan creation, kind of a continuation of the draft. Typically, this is done by the business, but this is something that can be used to essentially benchmark what the business has come back with, see if it's really sufficient to address the issue that you're raising. Audit report creation, this was another fan favorite. You basically upload a completed RCM with some details about the exceptions you found. The ControlSense will then digest that information and put it into a report form that you can then download, edit, go through management revision, share with stakeholders, et cetera, et cetera. And then audit executive summary, which will, if implemented within your systems, you'll be able to leverage that to identify trends and emerging risks and the like based off of the GRC data or your audit management tool data. So as mentioned, we will give everyone votes on which one they want to see. These were the most popular ones. One thing we are doing a little bit different this time is you will have the capability to choose multiple. So we'll see how this works. And if all four get selected, then maybe we'll pick a couple that we can then demonstrate. So I've just launched it. There's the choices of guided planning memo, RCM creation, data analytics, and audit report creation. So we'll let.
I think one thing to stress here, Henry, is that we're going to demonstrate our version of these memos based upon the standards that have been issued. But this can also be customized. These deliverables can be customized to look exactly and perfectly like your individual audit methodology. So I'm sorry if I'm interrupting you, but
No, not at all. And I'll point those out as we go. Okay, so I think we have 60% here. All right, so I think we'll go with, we have some votes. The data analysis and audit report creation were the highest ones, so we'll definitely demonstrate that. And then we have a vote for a guided planning memo. So I guess we'll do those three.
Okay.
Excellent. All right, so let me get started here. Let me bring this onto. So here you should see my browser.
Perfect. Yes.
Okay, so this is ControlSense.ai. Anyone can navigate to this. In order, I'll quickly show how to get access to the demo environment, sign up for the demo. You can click pricing and then get started now, free. Oh, sorry, I am logged in, so let me log out first. Pricing again, get started now. It'll allow you to then sign up with your email. As I showed before, I already have an account, so I'm just going to sign in. The audit platform, this is your home. On the left side, you'll see kind of the modules that we just talked through. And I believe was the first one was the guided planning memo. So I will then do that. So under planning, you'll see planning memo. There's the guide to RCM, et cetera, et cetera. So let's talk through the name of the audit. So we'll go with one that many people are probably familiar with. We'll just say it's a SOX compliance. If we want to get a little more specific, we can talk about specifically something like revenue recognition, right? For the time period, we will say 12 months. I'll say a last 12 months. Name of the business, I'll call that finance. What is the function within the business? So I'm just going to leave that. Well, it's the finance function. And the name of the stakeholder. So Joe Schmidt. Okay. We'll click continue here. Oh, finance. So say I'm relatively new to this. I just want to get a ControlSense to provide me back something that I can start working with. I'm just going to say propose some risks to me. Some risks to me. Any issues? We'll leave that blank. NA. Stakeholder. So let's say I'm leading the audit. So I'll put my name in, and then all their audit members. Let's say Jane Smith. It's getting quite cold here in the Northeast, so I'll say Frosty the Snowman. Okay. Actually, you know what? Let's just make it Frosty Snowman, right? Let's make it sound a little more official. So what you saw was I just did a series of pretty quick prompts. And as this goes, just think about, how long it'll take for you currently to generate a document of this sort where it talks about the process, the function, and the like. Again, as audit teams, you and I, Ed, have been doing this forever, right? During the early computer years and up until now, where maybe there was a template, or before it was just you basically had to look at the old one and then retype everything or copy and paste.
Yeah.
And in that time, we have the memo recipients, who we'd want to send to, introduction of it, the key risks there that we ask ControlSense to provide for us. There were no prior audit findings, but you could certainly see that would be the point to be there. Audit objectives, what we are looking to do, which leads into maybe some of the controls that we'll be looking at, right? What kind of coverage, assurance limitations, and like kind of a little boilerplate of the caveats that we have within internal audit as a whole, right? Timeline, reporting, audit team, et cetera, right? And as you can download this, edit it, right? There'll probably be some management revisions, et cetera, that you can then go through, right? Ed mentioned also that all of this can be customized. So for instance, if there's an ordering or there's more information that you, in your methodology you have, as it gets implemented, we can add those in so that it's not this is the boilerplate that everyone that adopts ControlSense will use. This is just what we, from our experience, have noted that these are the standard areas. But if you were to bring it into your company, into your team, everything can be customized to fit your methodologies, standards, templates, et cetera, et cetera.
Exactly.
So now we will move on to data analytics. So this is one where you can upload a big set of data. I think the data set I created, it's a mock data set, so don't worry on the call. It's a mock data set. It is about 1,500 lines, right? And again, we hoped that you'll be able to see how you may be able to use ControlSense, both from efficiency and speed perspective, but also get some ideas of how you may be able to use it to probe into some of the data that you're looking into. All right, so I am going to select this revenue recognition data set. So I'm going to submit that. You can see it's been brought in, right? There's 17 lines, et cetera, et cetera. So let me then, so essentially we've prompted ControlSense with this data. Now it's a matter of what we want to ask it. So I'll ask something pretty simple, right? How many transactions have missing approvals, right? Submit that. So you'll think for a little moment there. There's 17 transactions with missing approvals. Okay, well, that's certainly something that definitely needs to be looked into, right? We can then probe it further and the like. But even within the same data set, you can ask multiple different things from it as well. For instance, let's say how many instances had revenue recognized, which would be this revenue recognized date before the shipment date. And again, clicking the same data set, didn't need to re-upload, but ask it, there's 9 instances. Okay, so now, this is how you can use it to start probing to quickly get to maybe some core exceptions that then you'll need to do some interviews on and maybe some further root cause analysis and the like. But you can see how quickly it reacted to some of the very simple prompts that you put in to then get started on that front.
If you think about how the amount of training that is provided to the non-technical auditors to execute data analysis, it really takes away from that training and enables virtually all auditors to do this. So I think this is extremely powerful.
Yeah, and then obviously as with auditors, we all do due diligence afterwards, really iron it down, make sure we have everything documented correctly in the work papers. But to get it off the ground, to really get started with some of these things instead of, for instance, messing around with a lot of VLOOKUPs or teaching someone how to use VLOOKUPs and making sure that numbers need to match with numbers and not text and all that, even they may look all the same, right? The idea is that ControlSense will be able to remove that barrier of entry and allow any of your auditors, staff auditors to start using this tool to try to get wider coverage and quickly. All right, and moving on to the last audit report. This is, again, I had used the RCM. I generated an RCM yesterday and kind of pre-filled it out. So we are now at the end of field work. We have an RCM that's completed. Let me bring that up actually so the audience can see what it looks like. It'll be very standard RCM. Here you go. So it'll look like something like this. And again, all of this can be customized. This is something I had generated from ControlSense yesterday. I just then created these fake audit results. But in regards to columns, those all can be customized based off your existing methodologies and standards. So you'll see here we tested 5 controls and 2 of those failed. So these are actually the same ones that we just did the data analysis off of, right? And so just to hopefully you'll be able to see this end-to-end view of how it can get all brought together, right? So I'm going to upload that RCM. You'll see the same information coming through, and then creating the generate report. Now I know in my time as audit, we had very good templates and methodologies and the like, but it still took a ton of time to generate the draft. Even though there was a good template and it was almost fill in the blanks, there was always some things, whether it's from the APM or some changes during the planning phase that we needed to continually kind of revise as, oh yeah, we changed that, in this case, it brings it all together, brings the draft report 90% of the way there in essentially a click of the button and a couple seconds later. You'll see the audit opinion, the control rating. Again, this is our mock methodology. All of this can be changed to be revised to match your standards. We have audit scope, summary of the findings, more specific audit issues, which further demonstrate kind of similar to what we have in the fieldwork, right? On draft issues and the like, you have your concern statements, root cause, impact, as well as the action plans that then you would revise with the business and the like. You can download this, right? And I'll try to bring this up quickly in Word document format.
As you can see, folks, the issues are compliant with all the great audit standards that we have out there, and
Yep.
it really adds to the quality. Go ahead.
Yeah, and so here it is, same information, right? Same structure, and just in kind of Word document form, which I'm sure most of us are kind of using out right now to create audit reports to revise, to send back and forth, and the like. All right. And so that's essentially a bit of the end-to-end, right? From planning, field work, and reporting, on how ControlSense can help your audit teams do more with less. So moving on.
Yeah. So, as you can see, and thanks, Henry, for that. It was a great demo. And, the benefits of ControlSense are real. We have a significant increase in audit productivity. It addresses the resource challenges by reducing the time it takes to develop audit deliverables. We have enhanced audit quality. Audit deliverables directly meet industry audit standards. And then there's consistency in delivering and deliverable requirements, as it significantly reduces the management review time and enables audits to be delivered faster with higher quality. And audit assurance is achieved by the non-technical auditors through the use of control testing of large data population. All auditors then really become a form of data analysts, which I think is huge for all audit departments to enable the testing of full data populations. Back to you, Henry.
All right. So hopefully throughout the demonstration and this presentation, you'll kind of see how ControlSense can be used and think about how that might be able to help yourself or your audit teams. A couple of next steps, right? If you are interested, do sign up for the free trial, right? It's through the same workflow that I showed earlier, right? ControlSense/pricing. Get started now. Sign up with your email. That will give you access to the demo environment, so you can kind of play around with it, see how it works. And honestly, as you use it, if you have any feedback, feel free to send it our way. If this is something that you are interested in to implement, there is a contact form that we have on our website at ControlSense.ai/contact us. Following that, Ed and I will meet with you and your team to get a better understanding of, as an audit team, where you guys are at, what you're looking to get out of ControlSense and the like, but really just to understand your company and your team a little bit better. Any other questions or feedback, feel free to just send it to myself or Ed at henry@controlsense.ai or ed@controlsense.ai. So those are kind of the takeaways there. Again, we're open to all sorts of feedback. It is a very exciting tool, and there's a number of things we're working on. So as you guys have feedback, we're happy to integrate that into our roadmap.
Yeah.
All right. And we have two questions here. And I'll ask you for the first one. Will there be more demos in the future?
Yeah, I think we're really going to expand on our the content of our demos, where we're going to go into some of the additional areas of focus, whether they're from a business point of view or a functional point of view, so we can kind of demonstrate the versatility of Control Sense across industries and across functions. And then I think we're also going to move forward with some, as we have a roadmap, we'll have additional demos on some of the enhancements that we're anticipating. Okay.
Um, I'll take this next one. How will data be secured? So it's a good question. It came up on the last one as well. Um, it will depend on the implementation, but there is a branch of our implementation strategy where um, all of ControlSense can be dropped into your company's environment and completely isolated as such, so that there is no information going out of your company's network, right? There are other implementations that can be used that then leverage your existing contracts with your preferred LLMs, um, as well as external LLMs. But the most secure would be, the direct implementation that's isolated within your environment. Um, and last one, does ControlSense have agentic capabilities? I think Ed just mentioned that we may do some demos on what we're looking to implement in the future. It is something we have on the roadmap, especially to help with things like continuous auditing, where you can, it's a test that you'll run month to month, quarter to quarter. It's something that you can then just set and forget almost, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it'll, get the data, run it, shoot out the results, and then you can deal with the follow up with stakeholders and the like afterwards. It is something in our 2026 roadmap.
Yeah.
Um, all right, we have reached the end of this webinar and the Q&As. I just wanted to thank everyone again for joining us today. Hope you guys have a happy holidays. And we'll see you guys in 2026.
Great. I just would like to add, that just in summary, Control Sense, hopefully, as you've seen, it's an extremely cost-effective way to immediately enhance your productivity and quality and assurance. And it, as I said it before, it does meet directly any internal audit strategic goals for the use of AI. So again, thank you for joining today's webinar. Please make sure you visit ControlSense, sign up for a free trial, and please contact Henry or me with any questions. Okay? Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.